Hey guys, it's LEGO Maestro here, and welcome back to another episode of Hypixel Alert. But this is no ordinary episode. This is a bombshell of news, you guys. Lunar has been accusing Badlion publicly of stealing from them. We have an interview with Badlion in this episode. We have all the juice and drama, and we've got a quote from Jordan, one of the owners of Badlion, that is really gonna shock you because I know it shocked me. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the news. Now guys, before we get into this huge story, I've got to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Skyblock Isles. This server is, as you can guess, a Skyblock server owned by none other than Bajan Canadian himself. And get this, it's 100% not pay to win. The server released last Thursday and it's been in the works for a very long time. The gameplay is fun and intricate. There is a lot to learn on the server, from quests, adventures, skill leveling, a ton of mobs, and more. But as you learn it, and once you learn it, it's a lot of fun. Now, I talked to some fans of the server and they said to make sure that you do the tutorial to understand the gameplay and make it easier for the long run. So guys, all the info you need is in the description. And with that, let's get back to the news. It all started in the Badlion public Discord server when a player said this, quote, "What the heck? The new Lunar update, it copies so many new features from the newest Badlion update." And to this, the owner of Lunar, well, one of the two owners known as Jordan, responded with this. "It's almost like Badlion had a rat in our tester Discord feeding them everything we were actively working on." Now this is a huge accusation from Lunar. Obviously there's been a lot of stuff in the past about whether Badlion copies Lunar or Lunar copies Badlion, but this is way different. So of course I had to follow up with Jordan about what he said, and ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, because he replied with this. I mean, I called them out for it in their Discord. It's not a coincidence they released the stuff we are actively working on 2 updates in a row. Tab mod, colored beds, high stats, height overlay, etc. The reality of it is, if they get information about our update, they use their 15 developers to get it out before us. Then they can gloat in their little Discord server about us, quote, copying them when our update comes around. The higher ups at Badlion know they are playing dirty. Lunar Client has 5 developers that work really hard to provide what we provide. Badlion should be ashamed of what they're doing. Woo! Some crazy stuff there from Jordan, ladies and gentlemen. What a reply. You can tell there is a bit of aggression coming from this message. And so guys, along with this, I also reached out to Physci, the other owner of the Lunar Client, and unfortunately I have not gotten a response yet. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, now I had to, of course, get Badlion side of it to know what's really going on. So I got in contact with a person named Scrub, the QA, which is quality assurance of Badlion. And this person, Scrub, works closely with the developer team in Badlion every single day. So if there was anything going on, he'd be the guy to know about it. And of course, we got all the answers. So without further ado, here it is. All right, so I've sent you the message. Obviously, Jordan had a lot of accusations against Badlion, stating that they actually copied a lot of things and that there was a rat within Lunar that was actually reporting to Badlion. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think this all stems primarily from, like, if you look at their last update and the 3.4 update, obviously there's a lot of overlapping features. I think that's the core of it, plus drama with a previous tester that left Badlion, went to Lunar, left Lunar, and came back to Badlion.
Now, was he the rat that Jordan was talking about?
I'm not sure if that's who they're referring to. Purely on the basis of that person came back to us well before the 3.4 update released, and I actually avidly fought for that person not to leave the team in the first place. Like, I spent a solid hour trying to convince them to stay because they were a really good tester.
Interesting. So who do you think is the rat that Jordan was talking about, or do you say that's completely false?
I would suggest at this stage, based on all the information I have, it's completely false. Matt reached out to me on Twitter, making
Matt
an
as in
allegation.
Physci.
Yep. Reached out to me on Twitter, making an allegation we had a rat in their team. I offered to try and help resolved the situation. I looked through. He said that a screenshot was posted in our Discord from their tester Discord. I went through and looked at every single message prior to when they said it was around from every single tester on the team, as well as going through the audit log to see if any testers had deleted anything on our Discord. There was nothing there, and I let Matt know that. I also offered to cross-check his team list with mine, but he hasn't seen the message.
So, okay, why do you think that Matt then had this assumption that there was a screenshot posted in your Discord?
I imagine there may well have been a screenshot posted. I don't know by who, and I've got absolutely no idea what the screenshot contained. I didn't see it. No one's been able to provide me actual evidence of that screenshot ever existing. Although I'm not saying it doesn't.
Right. So then if it did, there's just no way that I guess you could find it if they somehow deleted those logs.
If it exists, it was not posted by one of our testers. And if anyone's interested, our tester list is entirely public on our staff page on the forums.
Interesting. So then the next issue that I want to get into is the long debate that's gone on with Lunar and Badlion, kind of, having the community imagining they're copying each other. Obviously, the community is way out of the know when it comes to what's actually going on because obviously Badlion and Lunar are both huge, huge companies with their own dev teams. So the community is just seeing the aftermath of the updates that come out. What are your thoughts on everyone saying that Badlion copies Lunar or that Lunar copies Badlion? Like, what do you have to say about that?
I've actually made a tweet about this before saying that I think it's kind of silly to be making those kinds of comparisons. If you look at both clients, if you look at most of Lunar's recent updates, there's been something that we've had for a while or released at a similar time, and vice versa. There's been plenty of things we've added that they've had in the past, whether it be an entire mod or a specific setting. It's just how industry goes. People see good ideas and they follow suit. And I'm not saying we look at Lunar directly for our ideas. A lot of our ideas we may have for a while. We may find on YouTube, on the internet. We may find it from Lunar. It just depends what the community wants and what we think is best for our client.
So overall, then, would you say that Badlion is not copying Lunar?
No.
All right.
Any suggestion that we're copying them is completely false.
All right. So the final thing I want to get into is a quote from Jordan after I reached out to him about saying there was a rat in the server. He said this.
Did he actually say that?
That is an exact quote from Jordan.
Right. I mean, look, if he really thinks that, let him think that. But the fact of the matter here is that colored beds mod that we released, I think it was in 3.3? I actually personally asked for that mod halfway through 2020. I can actually prove this as well. I've got screenshots from when I was doing the research on the mod and when I did actually find. Basically, the story was I accidentally played a game on 1.12. I saw, hey, Hypixel does these colored beds. That's really cool. What if we backported this to 1.8? And then I went on YouTube to see if anyone had done it before, and I actually found a video by Mulberry having done it before. At that point, I had no idea who Mulberry was. That was the first I'd heard of him. So I made the suggestion in our suggestion channel, and I linked to the video. And then it just took a long time for the feature to be added because they got sick of me nagging.
So why do you think it took so long for them to add it in the first place?
It just... I don't know. I don't necessarily make the decisions in what's being added when. I think at the time it was kind of just an idea that was like, well, nah, not really. But at the start of 2021, Doblox, Gonzalo, Ginny, our product manager, and myself, we all got in a call and we're like, right, what can we do for Hypixel Bed Wars this year in the PvP community as a whole? And we actually came up with a significant list of a variety of mods, a lot of which are actually on the client now, such as high stats and the TNT timer mod and stuff like that.
So once again, you would say that these accusations made by Jordan here are false against Badlion?
I'd say they're objectively false, in the sense that he's entitled to his opinion and perception is a thing. But from where I stand and knowing how BLC operates and knowing that a lot of the Bed Wars features that we add come from my ideas or things that I find, it's just not the case.
So the final thing I want to ask you about on Jordan's quote, he says the higher-ups know what they're doing and that Badlion should be ashamed. What do you have to say in response to that as far as Badlion?
I'm going to try and word this without any unnecessary drama because I don't like that. But Jordan's entitled to his opinion. He doesn't have, quite frankly, any of the facts in terms of how Badlion operates. He never has, and considering he's working for our biggest competitor, never will. Many of our features that we add are based on community suggestions and suggestions from myself and people that are in our tester team and have been for a while. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that every single feature we add is going to be unique because, quite frankly, we're, 8 years into 1.8 now? It's just nothing's going to be entirely original for the most part. And many users use both clients. So there may be something on Lunar that people want added on BLC. There may be something on BLC that people want added on Lunar. It's just how things go. If the community wants it, it would be really stupid of us to say, no, we can't add this because Lunar added it. By that logic, the first smartphone company that had fingerprint ID would be the only smartphone company doing fingerprint ID. It doesn't make sense.
I see. All right, well, Scrub, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. And of course, you guys let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. With that, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything else from either Badlion or Lunar on this topic, I'm sure I will cover it. But with that, that's going to do it for the news this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.